Greetings everybody. Marcel Palkumar Pata. Welcome to LeetCode problem solving series. Today we are going to solve the question 3300 minimum element after replacement with digit sum. We will start by understanding our problem properly and then move to the most optimized solution directly because of the question being much simpler and easier today. So let's just start by understanding what our problem is trying to say. So first of all, we are given an input array nums which contains a number of integers in it, and our task is that we need to take each and every element of the nums array, convert it into its digit sum, and then replace it by its own position in the given array. And after replacing each and every number with its own digit sum, we need to check and return the most minimum element present in the nums array after the replacement process. So this is our complete task. Let me just give you an example then too. So let's take the first test case in which we have 4 elements 10, 12, 13 and 14. So as I mentioned, starting with the first element, the first element's 10's digit sum will be 1 because 1 plus 0 is 1. So first element will be replaced, like 10 will be replaced by 1. Similarly, 12 will be replaced by 3, 13 will be replaced by 4 and 14 will be replaced by 5. So after replacement we have this array 1, 3, 4 and 5 in which our minimum element is 1. So we will be returning 1. Okay, I hope you understood what our problem is trying to say. So let's just now move to the most optimized solution directly for solving the problem. So first of all, we are having, like most of you would have noticed, that we are having a recurring task which we need to do inside this complete process of solving the problem, which is calculating a digit sum of one number. Okay, so for this task of taking a number and calculating its digit sum and then replacing it, this is a recurring task which you need to do continuously. So instead of writing like that complete code for that inside a loop or inside this complete main function, which can cost us much time, what we can do is that we can create a function for that recurring task. Okay, like calculating the digit sum and returning that sum. Which by using that function, by calling that function, we can simply replace the current element with that digit sum. Okay, I hope you understood overall what I'm trying to say. So as I mentioned, let's create a function which can help us to calculate the digit sum and return that at the end of the function. So let's just name it as digit sum, inside which we will pass our current num or current integer that we are at while iterating through the given array. So what we will do is that we will have integer sum which will be initialized as 0, and obviously for calculating the digit sum we will be using the traditional method like the while loop, and inside that we will be using the module operator to get the last digit, and then we will add that inside the sum, and after adding it inside the sum we will remove that digit by using the division by 10. Okay, I hope you understood the main traditional method to solve, like to calculate the digit sum. Okay, so as I mentioned, we'll be using a while loop which will run till our current number is greater than 0, and inside that as I mentioned, we will do sum plus equal to num modulo 10. Okay, and as I mentioned just now, we will do num divide by equal to 10. This can help us to take the last digit, add it inside the sum, and then remove it by dividing the current number by 10. So at the end of this loop, we will have our digit sum of the past number inside the sum, which will be returning at the end of the function as I mentioned. So now we have a function which can help us to calculate the complete digit sum of a number when it's passed through the function. So now our task is much simpler. We just need to iterate through the nums array, take the current sum of the digit by calling this function, and then replace it by using the equal to operator, and after that just we need to check if our current number is less than our already, we can say, comparison variable minimum, then place it inside the minimum variable. Okay, let me just explain you by coding that part. Okay, what I'm trying to say. So as I mentioned, we will have a minimum named integer, okay, which will help us to like compare while iterating itself. Okay, so let me just explain you how it can work. First of all, for calculating a minimum integer, what type of ways we are having is that we have two ways. First of all, we can use two loops, okay, one by one. One loop to just replace each and every number with its digit sum, and after that another loop to just calculate the minimum integer after replacing every number. But instead of doing that, what we are having is that we have a much easier, or we can say better method to save time and memory, which is we can use this minimum variable, okay, which will initialize as the maximum value in the C++ language, which is integer max. Okay, many of you would know that this is the type of way which we can use to do like comparisons between two integers. So after initializing minimum with the max value, what we can do is that while iterating, we will just, after replacing, we will just check if our current integer that we have after replacing is less than the minimum variable, then simply place it, like simply equal it into the minimum variable, like store it inside the minimum. After which we will simply check while every iteration, in every iteration, if our current integer is less than the minimum integer, like this minimum variable, then store it inside the minimum, otherwise move to the next integer. This way till the end of the loop, we will have our minimum integer calculated by using this minimum variable and this complete method which I just explained. Okay, I hope you understood what I'm trying to say. So this way we can save time and cost by decreasing one complete loop and using this simple variable called min. So let's go for coding that part as I mentioned. So as I mentioned, we'll use a for loop, okay, which will start from the first index and move till the last index of our given input array. And during that iteration, as I mentioned, we will first replace current element by its digit sum by passing it inside our own created function digit sum nums of I. And after that replacement, we will simply check if our current we can say num after replacement, if that's less than minimum variable, then store it inside minimum, otherwise move to the next integer. So this way at the end of this complete loop, we will have our minimum integer after replacing every element calculated and stored inside this minimum variable, which we need to return at the end of the code. Okay, so this way our complete problem can be simply and easily solved by using this code. So let's just test it for our main test cases by running the code. So yeah, it perfectly works as you can see. So now let's just submit the code if that works for our internal edge cases or not. So yeah, it perfectly works as you can see. The time and space are too much better and simple. So this way we can solve our problem 3300. So this is the complete approach to solve the problem. If you like the way I mentioned and solve the problem, you can like the video. If you want to check other questions too, you can check the LeetCode problem solving series playlist, which is present inside my channel. If you want more these type of content, you can subscribe to the channel. Or if you want to connect with me personally, you can use my social connections link present in the description of the video. Also, I will attach this code too in the form of a GitHub repo link inside the description of the video. You can try that to test by yourself the code. So this was the complete video. Thank you very much for staying till the end. Thank you.